kidding, you'll live. Just kidding, you'll live. 'Cause it's story time with Ingrid. It's story time with Ingrid. It's story time with Ingrid. So let's tell a story. Hey, story time with Ingrid. It's story time with Ingrid. Go faster, fast Ingrid. The story. It's story time with Ingrid. It's story time with Ingrid. It's story time with Ingrid. Let's tell a story. Faster, story time with Ingrid. It's story time with Ingrid. It's story time with Ingrid. Now it's one of these parts. Whenever you go, it makes perfect sense. Whatever you do, I will be right there. Tell a story to you. Whatever it takes, or how my heart breaks, I will be right here telling a story too. Anyway, my story is shorter than that, so I'll still tell it. The next song we're going to do has been seared into my brain in a certain way. Now, every song ends up, something funny happens on tour, or it takes on another life, it takes on another meaning. So this song that we're going to do for you is the song that when I say sing, I mean lip sync, sing, lip sync, sing, on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Now, when I say that I lip sync sang it, it's not that I had the choice. I hope I'm not bursting anybody's holiday bubbles here, but nobody sings on the parade. They don't allow it. So, no joy, no real joy on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Only pretending like you're joyful. Fooling America, one singer at a time. So I'm up there, which is the spirit of Thanksgiving, I figured out. Here's some bees, give me your land, let's have food together, we love you, that's not how it went. Story time with Ingrid. This is the dark part. Story time with Ingrid. Story time with Ingrid. When shit gets real, shit gets dark. The Native Americans weren't happy, if you really think about it. But white people don't want you to know it. Remember how we were taught what Thanksgiving was when we were kids? Yeah. And they put the Indians taught the Pilgrims how to plant corn. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so anyway, I'm on a float, I have to lip sync, and I'm terrified because I don't like the idea of lip syncing because I make up lyrics constantly. I forget lyrics and I make them up. And people don't know unless you're like following a lyric sheet. You know. Now somebody here will do that. But I was so afraid that I would like mess up my own lyrics at the parade in front of like 60 million people, whoever's watching it. And you can't go back, it's being taped, you know. So the whole parade, I'm just like waving frantically and nervous. And there's like tons of famous people in the parade. It's like, there was Avril Lavigne was in the beginning, she was like sitting on a big pumpkin. And then CeeLo Green, who's like the dirtiest guy ever, is like waving at 8-year-olds. And like, not in that way, I don't think. This lawyer's gonna call me. And then like the Muppets were right in front of me. How do you follow like the friggin' Muppets? So it was like the Muppets, real celebrities, and then me. So like, you'd hear like the cheers, like the massive cheer for the Muppets. Like when you turned the corner, there were like certain hubs where there were lots of people. And then like, I'd be like, okay, here's my turn. And people would be like, they would clap because I was on a float with like kids dressed up as firemen, so I must be something good, right? One kid was like, we were paused for a minute, and he was as close as I am to you, and he's like, I don't know who she is. He was friend, and I looked at him, I gave him like a really dirty look, and he's like, but you hot, you hot. I blushed. I was like, he's like, nah, there's something wrong. Hey, take it where you can get it. So, I get to the end of the parade. I have a kid fireman next to me on a ladder. He's like as far away out as Allie is, so you'll be my fireman. There you go. My fire boy. And that sounds gross. Fire kid dressed up as a fireman. Let's leave it at that. I feel like I've offended 8 different types of people. Okay. So the fireman kid is there, little girls dressed up as nurses, okay, and like teachers and stuff like, we help the city, and that was my fault. And then I had to sing, right? So like they're like talking over the beginning, like the intro of the song plays, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. And they're like, singer-songwriter Ingrid Michaelson. Like I could tell they were reading it for the first time, kind of a thing. Like, who's this name? And they read it, and they're like, here she is. And they're speaking over the beginning of the intro of the song. So the song, finally they stop, and the song starts with a second for me to get in there. And I'm like, faking it. I'm singing as loud as I really can, but nobody can hear me because I want my neck to like, do that thing it does, like bulging. Like I'm really singing. So I'm really singing, and the fireman kid's like, hey, here we are. You and me, kid. And then the whole ordeal was just very fun and amazing and scary, but for the most part scary, and I'm neurotic, so very frightening. And so I'm almost done with the song. This is the whole point of the story here. I digressed a bit. The float, like it stopped because they're filming me. But I don't know if you know this, if you watch as many parades as I do, but you never finish the song. The float always moves on while they're like just about to finish, but in my head I forgot that fact. And so the float like jolted really, fast. And I was wearing really high heels, and I had my hand on a microphone that wasn't real, but it was there, and I basically fell, because what happens to you when something that you're standing on all of a sudden moves really quickly to the right, you go to the left, right? So I take this gigantic, weird, awkward step, flailing my body over towards my fireman friend, and I'm like, in my head I'm thinking like, like when you do, like, if you've ever had I've never had a near-death experience, but I liken it to that you think of like all the options of things, like, and I'm like, maybe if I after I make this step, if I make a huge step on the other side, it'll just look like I'm doing like a really big weird like dance, like Broadway dance. And then I was like, okay, but I might not have enough time for that. And so I kind of swing my hand out as I'm falling to gesture, as if to say, my whole song leads up. Look at this, here's this kid, and here he is. Here's what you've been waiting for. And then I'm like, let me go to the other side and show the other kids, and everyone will think I love kids, and then I'll be weird. But then like, cut, you're done. So I only got to showcase one kid, and that's kind of weird, and like, what was I doing? And then they put me in a town car, and it drove me home to my parents in Staten Island. Yeah, Staten Island. And I was like in the car at home, like, you know what? I bet nobody noticed. I bet nobody saw. Maybe the camera pulled away. That's probably what happened. And then I walk up the stairs, and I still have my, makeup and all my fake hair on. And my mom goes, did you fall? So I guess they did see it, and they can continue to see it because a nice gentleman has posted it on YouTube. So I encourage you to go watch it, and just go to the last like 15 seconds. That's the best part, where I'm like, here he is! So here's that song for you, and hopefully one day it won't remind me of falling in front of like 60 million people. It's called Blood Brothers.